The focus of this tutorial is to show how to draw walls for 2D architectural drawings. Now certainly there are multiple ways to draw walls. I will show a couple of different techniques as I go along. So I've set up AutoCAD with my unit set to architectural. I've set up a layer that I can draw on, so I have my wall layer. And I'm ready to begin. The drawing that I've chosen today is a small cabin that you might find in the woods or up in the mountains. So it's fairly small, but I think it has all of the different aspects that we'll need in order to draw the walls, and then in additional videos, things like doors and windows. Let's get started. So I'm going to select my line tool. I'm going to go ahead and select a spot, and I'm going to drag that out. And again, to make sure that I am drawing straight lines, I'm going to go down to my ortho button here, select ortho, and my first dimension is 16 feet. Enter. You notice it goes off the screen and I can scroll a little bit, but sometimes when it's in a command I can't scroll very far, so I'm going to hit escape so that I'm out of that command, and then it allows me to zoom in and out. If it gets stuck, sometimes what you'll want to do is press Z, enter, A, enter. That is for zoom all, and then everything that you've ever drawn in model space will appear. Okay, so I have that line. Let me go ahead and finish the exterior of the building. So this is 28 feet this direction, and I'm going to stay in my line command, 16 feet, enter. And again, I usually always want to type in my dimension. It is most accurate when I type. Go ahead and make sure my snap is on. That's good. So zoom in a little bit, click that one. So now I have the perimeter of my structure. The next thing I want to do is create my outside walls. And I'm going to make those out of 2x6 framing. So 2x6s are actually 5.5 inches thick. So I'm going to do my offset button here, and I'm going to set that distance to be 5.5 inches. Enter. I'm going to select each of these walls. When you do this, it's important to be dramatic. If you select a wall and then don't move your mouse very far, it will sometimes jump to the other side that you want. So be a little bit dramatic when you do that. All right, so I've got that defined. Let me go ahead and clean this up. And some people will make all their walls first and then go back and clean up. I like to usually clean up things as I go. It makes it a little bit easier for me to see the drawing. So for these corners, I have a couple of different options. One, I could use the trim command, and I could select both of these and then trim those out. Let's do that on one of those, and then I'll show you an easier way on the next one. So I'm going to go to trim. I'm going to work with these two lines, right-click to change function, and then I can select both of those and escape when I'm done. I could also use fillet, and down here at the bottom my radius is set to 0 feet 0 inches. So when I click this line and this line, it squares it off. I find that to be a lot faster. Anytime I want to reuse a command, I can right-click, and it's the first one. Repeat fillet. Repeat fillet. Click on these two. Okay, so I have the outside walls finished. Now let's start the inside walls. So I'm going to have, in this back corner, I'm going to have a closet, and then I'm going to have a bathroom, a mechanical room. I have a master bedroom back here with a kitchenette, and this will be the living area here. So let's start up in this corner. I'm going to select offset, and I want that closet to be 5 feet wide. I'm going to select offset. I'm going to type 5 feet. Enter. 5 feet from here to here. And I'll go ahead and make my wall. So offset 3.5 inches because I'm using 2x4 framing for my interior walls. And I want it to be, so I've got it 5 feet deep. I want it to be 6 feet this way. So I'm going to offset 6 feet, enter. I'm going to offset this one down, hit escape. I'm going to offset that wall 3.5 inches, so 3.5, enter. Now I could go and I could define all the rooms and then put the thicknesses of the walls in. But again, for me, I think it's just easier if I do things as I go. It makes it a little bit easier for me to see. All right. So let's put a bathroom in here. So it's 5 feet wide, so the tub will fit. Let's make it 8 foot from this line down to this line. So offset 8 feet, enter. Click that down here. I'm going to make my wall at 3.5 inches, enter. And I can either put the 2 tick marks or not, because AutoCAD automatically defaults to inches. So click here and go down. And then I have one more room. I've got a mechanical area and a place for a refrigerator. So I'm going to offset that one. Let's go with 3 feet, enter. Here to here. And then I'm going to offset that 3.5 inches. And there to there. Okay, so I've started to define some things. Let me do some trimming. So one of the things that I'm going to trim now is over here on this side. I'm going to get rid of these lines because my master bedroom is going to be bigger than this. I'm going to trim some of these lines. So I'm going to click trim, and with that I can select individual lines. If I want, I can select everything at once, and I think that sometimes is a lot easier. So I'm going to select once here, drag my mouse over, select again. Now everything is highlighted. To change function, I would right click or enter, and then I can simply select those lines that I want to get rid of. And while I'm at it, I'm going to zoom in. And one of the things that is really important is make sure you're zoomed in enough that you can actually see it. If you're zoomed out too far, it's really easy to select the wrong thing. So I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to get rid of that line right there, as well as this one. And to pan, I'm just holding the wheel down and moving my mouse. Get rid of this one and this one. And I think for right now, we're in good shape. So I'm going to hit escape. Let's define the master bedroom. So that's going to be 10 feet here. So my distance is 10 feet, enter. Select the line, move it down. Offset 3.5 inches, enter. Select the line, move down. And my kitchenette is going to end right here. So I'm going to have a little bit of a hallway and then my kitchenette in this area. So I think those are good. Let me do a little bit more trimming and clean this up. So let me zoom out. I'm going to hit trim, draw a box around everything, right click to change function. And let me clean up these walls. That looks good. Trim that one out. Trim that one. And these two. And I can keep going. I will stay in this command until I hit escape. Okay, I'm going to leave this one for a little bit later. I'm going to hit escape. Let's take a look. So that's 5 foot by 6. That's 10 foot. I'm going to have a little wall that comes out here that helps define our kitchenette. And I'm going to make that 5 foot 10 from this wall over here. Now, even though it's a shorter wall, I'm still going to draw it as if it's a full wall. So offset 5 feet 10, enter. So move that over to here. I'm going to offset that as 3.5 inches. Here to here. And I want this little wall to be 26 inches long. So I'm going to offset that wall 26 inches. here to here. I also want the same thing here, so I'm going to offset this one here to here. All right, I've got some cleanup to do, so let me hit escape, zoom out. Again, I'm going to draw a box around the entire thing when I do this. So let's zoom back in, and I want to erase these lines. And to change function, I need to right-click or enter. So right-click. I'm going to get rid of this one, and this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, that one. I want to get rid of that one. I'll need that one. Okay, let's hit escape. So I can't trim this. So if I try to trim, let's do that again. So if I go into my trim command, right click, I can't trim this because it doesn't cut anywhere. I have to have another line in there in order for it to cut. So let me go ahead and just delete that one. I need to trim out this little spot right here. Good. So how are we looking? Okay. So a couple more things and we'll be finished. So this wall should connect. Again, I could use the extend command to connect those. I don't want to drag that. That's typically bad CAD because things could go haywire. I could move things crooked. It might not work out right, and we'll find out later on in the drawing that something wasn't right, and it complicates things. So I'm going to use my fillet. I'm going to click here and here. That cleans that up. And I'll need to trim that. So if you notice, if I go from clicking left to right, it doesn't select anything. It only selects things that are completely inside of that window. So let me go from right to left. There we go. So right click, get rid of that little piece there. And what happened is I accidentally deleted this line when I trimmed it. Sometimes that'll happen. So I got a couple of different ways that I could fix this. Let's do this. So trim it. I'm going to trim these two out. And I'm going to draw a line here. And again, I could draw this any length I want. I know what it is. I know it's 5 feet. But I can draw that line to there and use my fillet command. And when I connect those, just like that. I've got one more thing to trim. So I'm going to trim. Okay, let me check all my corners. Everything looks good there. Hit escape. Okay, so I've got my master bedroom. I'm going to have a door to there. Got my closet. I have a bathroom. I need to separate this wall here. So I need a wall right in here. This is going to be where the refrigerator is and the small mechanical room. And so I'm going to offset 2 feet. And I'm going to do it from the front instead of this one. So offset this one to here. Offset again 3.5 inches for the thickness of my wall. Hit escape and let's do some trimming. All right, I think we are finished. So that is how to draw walls for 2D architectural drawings in AutoCAD.